Alright, who doesn't like a smoking gun mystery? And you are looking at the smoker. And I will show you how this relates to our history. And you see how flat that top is? Those toes were originally, I believe, fused together. And that has eroded between the fingers. And this is where the fibula was. And I believe this is a different species than we have. And I will show you, this was discovered in Missouri by Tish Egerton. And I have discovered this out here in Connecticut myself, in Middletown, Connecticut. Now I'm going to show you some other evidence and my specimens. Mine are pristine. Well, let me just show you what it is. Alright, I've shown this over and over a number of times. This is a footprint, and that print is in Triassic rock, which is this gray shale you can see, was pushed down through the red bed, which was here, and this was the red bed. You see that? So this red bed was wet. This gray shale, which is, this whole piece is a gray shale, and you can see it's all around here, was pushed down through that red bed. So this happened, it's supposed to be Triassic rock. It happened spontaneous combustion as far as I'm concerned. Now this is a footprint, entire foot. And I looked at the bottom of this and it confused the heck out of me. I said, how could this be? It's a strange looking pattern under here, but it is actually the way the guy's foot was, because it is identical to this, which is a footprint. And that print, I have the black cap over here, somewhere around here. Anyway, it's around here somewhere. But anyway, I made a footprint from this one here, and I will show you it's the same. Now, Tish found the same identical foot last week, and she's got both of them. You see the architecture, how this happens. You see that little tabby thing on the top? Notice that real careful, because you're going to see that in Tish's stuff really serious. Now, and this is it's a human footprint. That's all there is to it. Now, this one here is what you see there. Now, you see the same thing here. You've got that thing here, it goes off to the side. That's what it is. This one here, I did the same thing. Now, you'll notice this has that same grippy looking thing in the middle. You see that little spotty looking thing right there? That little circle, I can't hold that much longer. Now, this one here has the same exact thing. It's extremely, well, it's easy as hell to see. I mean, you need to go to lens crafters, you can't see that. Now, I'm going to show you the one in Tish's, because it's the same thing. So now we have two sites, one on the East Coast, one in Missouri, and hers is a complete creature, it looks like, because she's got both feet, she's got a hip, she's got all kinds of stuff. And there was some tools there as well. Oh, by the way, let me just show you that this is my foot, the same thing. And you see how it's covered here? Exact same tissue she has on hers as I have here. She's taken microscope shots, showed me. Mine broke off here. Hers is eroded. Now, you might be able to see the bone pattern in there, probably not. But it's the bone comes right down here, and that's the bone right there. And the other bone broke off the side because it was the fibula, the one that hangs off the inside of your foot. And it's the same. It's got the same architecture here. So that's what it is, and it's Triassic rock. So it got pushed down in literally the same day, as far as I'm concerned. So they might talk about Triassic being 50 million years, but this happened very quickly. And we have humans. We have geese. I have a goose right here. This is a goose, and there's no question whatsoever. You see the pattern of feathers in the back of his head? I don't know. That's probably going to be hard to see. You see that? I think you can see that now. You see the pattern of the feathers coming up over his head? That's how the feathers go on a goose. And his eye is right in there, and you can see right into his eye when it's you get it in the right condition here. And there's this little thing in his nose, a little beak. And then his neck is here in the back. You can see that was where his neck went up, and that was where the bone in this is in his neck. And then he was laying like this, so this was flat. and his neck sort of folded over there, and then when he got knocked around, it broke off. That's where his throat was. So anyway, this stuff is not, everything's wrong. Everything is totally wrong. These are all mud fossils. They're totally articulated, perfect. These are all the tiny little tuberosity holes for the ligaments, and it's got, you know, but the bones go away because of the particular type of what happens in water. So they just don't understand this, and they're just lost. This is what they call tunica. The ancient Greeks called it. You see, it's wrapped in a fabric around these. That's the fascia. They used to call it the tunica. And these are bones, and they say, "Oh, that's just a rock." Well, it's not a rock. So anyway, this is what I'm getting at. It's got to be looked at. Somebody should do something here. Everything's wrong. The dates, the times, the this, the that, the feet. And this here's 3.5 feet. I mean, 3.5 inches thick. This is only 10 inches. My foot is longer than this, and mine's like 1.5 inches. This is 3.5 inches, and this is your foot. This is the way it was constructed from when you were born back then. You see that circle in the front? That's an investment. The circles are everywhere on these things. You see, there's a circle here. They're everywhere, and those are the things that hold yourself together. That's all I can tell you. So that was the guy was born like this with his foot like that. I'm going to call him blockfoots. No, not foots. I'm going to call them block feet. So these are a new species, not Bigfoot, it's Blockfoot. And somebody's going to have to look at it, because Tish is, where you see this. All right, look at this. She went out, her husband saw my video. She went out 20 minutes after, it took 20 minutes to find this, after seeing one of the videos. Absolutely incredible. And then she went back the next day and found the rest of the stuff. Let me show you this. Hold on a second. Now look at this. This is the underside of the foot. You see how it's the same thing? It's got exact same architecture. This foot was more eroded than this one. She found these in a creek bed. And somebody should subsidize her and let her do some investigation. She's expressed a deep interest in this, and just because she's not an academic and sitting in some ivory tower doesn't mean somebody shouldn't help her with this. And because she's found something spectacular here, and it should be looked at, and she should be helped. So that's all I'm saying. I don't want anything to do with it. I have my own stuff I do here, and I don't want anybody's help. But she has a truly anthropological site. You know, I do want somebody's help. Let me put it that way. I don't mean that like offensively or anything. I do want somebody to look at my stuff and critique it and review it. But look at her stuff here. Look at this. This is the same guy's feet. She's got his hips, she's got this, she's got that, she's got tools that are found there. And, you know, to just let this go by the wayside because she doesn't have some PhD degree and isn't in the club, that is not right. So all I'm saying is, if you guys can fund your own selves, why can't you fund her? This is true research. Help her. Do something with it. All right, there's the hip bone. She's got this. She found the lung. She found a lot of stuff. So the whole creature is there probably. And she has some tools that were there. And this is the same Blockfoot creature. Now, it's extremely coincidental, but it's just a fact. So why doesn't anybody want interest in this? I'll show you the side shot of her feet. Exactly identical. Huge, huge, huge arch. Hold on. Look at that. That's like some kind of pin in the center of the arch where it can twist. It almost looks like the damn thing is built. That's all I can tell you. I'm looking at what you're seeing. You're seeing what I'm seeing. That looks to me like a sleeve and a pin, and this is the arch of the foot. That's all I can say is you see what I see, and somebody should look at it. And these are the pads of the feet down under the red stuff. This is the structural part of the feet. This is the limestone. Now you see this is the eroded one. Here's the heel with the, you know, it's the solid structural part. This is solid structural part. So this was the heavy structural part of the person's foot, and this is a pad that is literally almost like bolted up onto that. The same thing here, and that is where that pin was on the other one. We'll get some better shots of this, but it's just phenomenal what she found. Somebody should take a serious interest in this. That's my opinion. And, you know, I mean, and that's my opinion, and it's a fact. It should be. You see that? That's a circular pin that's in there. I don't know what to say. it's quite extraordinary. I mean, it is all biological. I can tell you that. I've seen these type of structures, but I don't know what to say. I don't think that's in a human foot at all. All right, this is where she went back the next day and found this one. Now the toes are eroded right off of this one, and but there's a ton, you know, we've looked at the skin. She's giving me the skin. The other one's over here. They're the same feet from the same guy, and there's a lot to be learned here. I've seen pictures of the site, and I think it's littered with the bones of this guy, and they're hard to make out. Obviously, that's one, and Tish has found the ones that are obvious, and I'm certain is going to find the other ones. But my point is that it's littered with these, you know, hard to understand bones, and body parts. His lung is there. I'm sure all the organs are there. This is what happens in mud fossils. They do not deteriorate the way real. Bodies do, left out in the sun and in the sand and where they go looking for them. All they're finding is the scraps, little tiny leftovers. We have the actual creature, and Tish has an entire one, and it looks like that the entire creature is there with some of its accoutrements. I don't know what to say. It should be looked at. I know I probably said that about 35 times, but you know, I'm going to say it 100 times because nobody's listening. Now, if you want to be part of this research, come up to here. It's called Mudfossils with an S, Original Research Group. It's a Facebook group. And also we have Science Theory Challenge, which is about all the things that are wrong in science, and everything is wrong in science. And then we also have, I also have this Mudfossils Revelations, which talks about the the deep meaning of these things, because they're not just meaningless little, oh, the guy's got a monkey bone and yippee, yippee, yippee. No, this has deep meaning. So do what you think is right. I'm doing what I think is right, and they're not doing what is right. I can guarantee you that. The teachers and educators that your kids trusted and you paid and they mortgaged their futures for, they do not care. They do not care about your kids. All they care about is their money, and they will let them mortgage their future and teach them out of books and read to them old things and not care about new research that overrides what they're teaching them, because it will show that they are quite inept, and it's going to embarrass the heck out of them. And they should have signed on to this earlier, and they did not. So I have no sympathy at this point. So go to these places, and also go here to Mudfossil University, which is where you can go for free and find out reality. Nobody will judge you and nobody will hurt you. All right? No charge. And all of this stuff is up here, and we don't go about, everything is talked about. Religion, everything. Outer space, our history. This is very, 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 very deep. And it's all factual. It's no, some big word, muon, gluon, this and that. It's just all crazy stuff. So you come up here, you get what you want, go about your life. I hope it works for you. All right, thank you.